Hey guys, my name is Nibiri and it's time for another Since Saturday, and today we're going to be talking about making screeches in VIPER. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw in some random pattern, and I'm going to include some longer notes and some smaller notes just because it's smart to hear your screech in multiple different lengths, so that you can really hear if your screech is working a little bit as a longer screech or as a shorter stabby type of screech. So I'm just going to put something random in here, and well, I don't really think about it too much. Maybe put one here. Something like this should probably work. And yeah, let's just go into VIPER and start making this screech. So the first thing I like to do is putting the balance of the voices to only one of the oscillators, because screeches can kind of be seen as a top lead. So you want to create your character with as little amount of voices, unless you're going for a hypersol type of screech, and then you're just going to use both oscillators and put them both on a hypersol oscillator mode over here with a multi-sol. But yeah, since we're gonna do something a little bit more organic screechy type, I'm just gonna try make the character of the screech at least with only one oscillator, and then maybe later on we're gonna add something else. Now the first thing I want to do is I'm just gonna apply this mod envelope to just get a little bit of the pitching going. Screeches are always nice to have some pitch in there. Just make them move as much as possible, and 9 out of 10 times it's gonna make the screech sound a lot better. The last thing you really want is a screech that's entirely static. So although we're only gonna use one oscillator, we're gonna make it move as much as we can with the envelopes and with the LFOs to make it really organic. And now if you want to, you can add the second mod envelope as well, and maybe put a little slope on here so it's gonna pitch down. And in the slots over here, we're just gonna do envelope 4, and we're gonna do this one up, so that's gonna pitch down. But then you can kind of get lost on which note you are playing, or which note the synth is really producing. But if you're going to use this in a track setting, just listen and listen if the screech fits your track. And only by adding this first LFO, we're already creating a nice and screechy feeling, right? So that's what we're aiming for. We're just gonna apply these LFOs and try to make it move, and then we're gonna apply some distortion as well. And of course, each different option over here is going to create a different type of sound. Now I'm going to stay with a sine wave, but I really recommend that you just try the other ones out as well, and maybe you'll find a sound that you're liking. Let's just start by adding some distortion on here. Let's just put on something and just throw it open all the way. And we're just going to scroll through these distortions and just see what works. And after that, we're just going to play around a little bit with the filter. I think I'm gonna use hard bounce, and yeah, let's just maybe add a bandpass on here and put some resonance on there, and just see if we can maybe create a little bit more movement for this screech. And now by just manually moving this cutoff, this bandpass, we're already creating so much movement and life for this screech. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go into the LFOs and I'm gonna use this second LFO as the filter. So we're gonna put this on at least filter 1 because that's the one with the bandpass, and we're gonna make this move. And we're not gonna do this too fast because if it's gonna go too fast it's gonna sound trash, but just make it move a little bit slower. And yeah, we're just gonna see if we can create some extra life for this screech. And just by adding the second LFO, it's just creating so much more of an interesting sound. So maybe what we can try right now is just apply a little bit of saturation over here, just to test it out. See if it maybe changes the sound a tiny bit. I'm just gonna keep it on there, but it's not really changing the sound that much. Right now we're already have quite a nice screechy sound. We could maybe try putting another LFO on here and put that on the pitch of the oscillators. Yeah, just see if it maybe makes it move a little bit more and just sounds better. So now we're already having quite a full and aggressive sound, but I feel that maybe we can make it a little bit more full and more stereo by adding the unison. So we're gonna maybe do 4 voices and spread the pen out properly. So yeah, it's just gonna add some stereo and just detune it a little bit so it just sounds a little bit more full. And never forget that you can always still tweak it a little bit, right? So we can still play around with this pitch envelope setting over here and just see if it sounds a little bit different and just sounds better. But I feel that we're maybe around the right range over here. And to make the sound a little bit dirtier, you can always try playing around with this ring mod over here and just see if it adds a little bit extra. I wouldn't really recommend opening it up all the way, but always just try it and see if it sounds nice. But really, this is the method that I'm just using to create my screeches. I just like to use one oscillator and get that character of the sound right. Really treat it like a top lead, so we're gonna create movement with the LFOs. And after that, we can of course tweak it a tiny bit and play around a little bit with the filter and the distortion. But once you're going on the right path, I just don't really play around with it too much anymore. I hope you liked this video and you learned something from this, and hopefully I'll see you back soon again. Cheers!